In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a pop ballad. And to do that, I remade a song that I really like from Blanco and Gracie Abrams called Unlearn. And I'll break down my remake of the song's elements, the sounds of those elements, the mixing, the structure and arrangement, all that jazz. So hopefully by the end of this tutorial, you can make a song in a similar pop ballad style to this one. Set the tempo around 75 to 80 BPM. Start off by making some light piano chords. This is just a very simple chord progression with 6 different chords in a pattern that has 2 that are half a bar each, and then it goes into 1 that's a full bar, and that repeats over here with different chords. If you need any help making chords, a resource I can suggest is chordcore.com. I use it all the time. It's really good. For the sound of those chords, I use this soft piano preset from Labs, and the only mixing that I put on here is a Fruity Blood overdrive. Nothing done to it, just the preset thrown in here just for some extra amplification and intensity in the mix because it's a very soft sound, so I really wanted it to punch through and intensify in the mix. Next, strengthen up those chords for the chorus. This is just the same exact chord progression but with different sounds. I use 3 presets to accomplish this sound. I use this piano preset from Flex, this string preset from Flex, and this synth preset from McRae's Vital Sound Bank Volume 3. So the main idea of these chords over here is just to give some extra amplification and really boost those lighter chords in the mix for the chorus of the track. The piano is just to really reinforce and strengthen that main piano essence sound. This string preset over here is to give some extra strings to kind of give some variance and flavor to the mix. Strings like violins or whatever like that are very prominent and prevalent in pop ballads. And this synth sound over here is just to fill up the mix a little bit. It's really not to stand out much. As you see, it's really toned down just to really fill up the missing parts of the background. For the mixing, the only thing I put on here is this EQ over here, which takes out a great chunk of the lows because we're going to make a very prominent bass in a bit, and we don't want these unneeded lows of these chords to counteract and make it sound weird and muddy in the mix with the other bass. So that's why we do that. And then just toning down the highest frequencies a tiny bit just because they were kind of a little harsh in the mix and mainly from the synth, and we just want that synth to be a more background sound, so that's why I did this over here. Next, take the bass notes from the chords and put it into some bass presets. And by the bass notes, I just mean like the root notes of what these chords actually are. So for example, if you have an A sharp chord over here, your bass or root note is going to be an A sharp. And then if you have a G sharp chord, your bass or root note is going to be a G sharp down here as well. And you do that for all the following chords in the pattern until you get your bass notes in a pattern like this. For the sounds of these chords, I used 3 Vital presets. I used this one over here, this one as well, and then one last one over here, all from McRae's Sound Bank Volume 3. So the first and the last one are more of an EDM respace sound. You're probably thinking that doesn't really go with the genre that we're focusing on in this tutorial, but you can't really hear the texture of it. It's just really filling up those lower ends a lot better than a traditional bass sound. So that's why I went for a more respace EDM sound for that. And then this one in the middle over here is just a sub bass to fill up those lower frequencies a lot more. And for the mixing, I put the same Fruity Blood overdrive on there from earlier just to give some extra amplification and power for this bass sound to really power through in the mix. Now for the drums. The drums for this track are honestly very simple. You just have a kick over here. It's a short but thumpy kick with not a lot of high-end texture, and then a percussion loop down here to fill up the background of the drums. Make sure to douse this thing in reverb as well. We want it to have a very echoey, roomy feel to the drums over here. Just the percussion loop though, not the kick. Leave the kick by itself. And together the drums sound like this. And just repeat this over and over again for the chorus. Now for the structure and arrangement of this track. So I kind of broke this track up into 3 parts over here. We have like an intro or verse over here. We have the chorus over here. And then an outro over here. The intro and verse section and the outro section are the exact same. You just start off with the piano and end with the piano, and you can get very creative with your lyrics and vocal melodies and stuff like that for the vocals, because for these parts we really want to focus on the vocals by themselves with the most simple instrumentation possible. And then for the chorus, this is where everything comes powering in. We have the light piano from earlier, the backup chords for the support, the bass, and the drums as well. So here's what the final structure of the track looks like over here. And after all that, here's the final result.
Need to unlearn how to run when it feels right. Oh my God, I'm trying. If I'm gonna learn how to choose you, I need to unlearn what I'm used